Maggie lived in a lovely countryside home. Her yard was always brimming with birds, but one bird, a raven, stuck out with his unusual yellow mark on his tail. This raven returned daily to her bird feeder. Maggie started to talk with the raven, who never seemed afraid of her. In fact, seemed to welcome her approaching him. She named him Damien because it fit his aura. Maggie enjoyed her talks with Damien. She would pour out her heart about her troubles at work with her boss, Cynthia, and co-workers Cindy, Sarah, Amanda, who didn't like her. Maggie always felt better after talking with Damien. At work, it was their weekly staff meeting. Everyone awaited Cynthia to start the meeting, but no Cynthia came. Finally, the CEO of the company came into the room looking somber. I have some very bad news. Cynthia's car was hit by a truck on her way into work. She didn't survive, he said. Everyone was sad and gloomy all day, like a dark cloud was hovering over them. To console each other, Cindy, Sarah and Amanda invited nearly everyone in the office to go out, but not Maggie. She was hurt. After work, Maggie went outside to talk to her friend the Raven, knowing he would be there and would listen to her sorrows. She told him all about the unexpected passing of her boss and how her co-workers were so terribly mean to her. As usual, Maggie felt much better after talking with Damien. The next day was Cindy's birthday and her co-workers planned a surprise party. Everyone was excited, but by 9:45 were wondering where she could be. Then at 10, a few HR personnel entered the room and had a blank look. "We have some terrible news. Cindy was hit by construction equipment this morning. She passed instantly," they said, delivering the grave news. Everyone was in shock and devastated by the news and was instructed to take the day off to grieve. But Sarah and Amanda decided to get together with a few other co-workers to console at a restaurant and intentionally left Maggie out. Maggie was hurt and embarrassed at the obvious dislike of her being blatantly displayed by her co-workers, but said nothing to them. She just went home and cried out her feelings to her trusted friend and companion Damien. Damien listened and watched her as usual, not budging during her entire outpouring of grief, only moving to occasionally eat some of the seeds she would put out for him. Maggie felt better. The next day at the office, Maggie arrived to a darkened room with very few people around. When she finally found a co-worker she knew, she asked where everyone was, and he gave her the grim news. Sarah, Amanda and a few other co-workers became trapped in the private dinner room area of the restaurant they were at last night and were engulfed by the flames. All perished, he said. Maggie was numb by the news. Because of this latest tragic event, the office closed for the week. The management said to go home with pay until further notice. Maggie left the office bewildered, not sure what to make of the rash of bad events befalling her co-workers. When Maggie arrived home, Damien was somehow waiting for her inside her home. He was perched on the windowsill. As Maggie eyed Damien, he had a knowing look about the events of the day, a look that gave Maggie comfort. She did not even question how Damien got into her house, and for some reason, she did not even feel the need to discuss the events of the day with him. It was like he knew. She just sat beside him and offered him bird seeds while stating, "You're the best friend ever, Damien."